Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, 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 Israel. This Kadar of Nation of Kings and Priests coming with a quick class tonight, teaching on about the book of Willie Lynch, the book of Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave, written by Willie Lynch. So we just gonna go into this book, pull out some precepts. This is going to be part one. I'm just breaking it down, the first cover introductions and stuff like that, according to what this book has to say. Because a lot of people don't understand this book. A lot of people don't believe into it. A lot of people know about it, but never took a chance to go into it. So this is what I'm going to do. First and foremost, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Has given all honor and glory to the Most High through His only begotten Son, putting the Spirit on me there. Come with this quick class tonight on Willie Lynch letter. So let's jump on in. Aki, brother, give
Yep.
me Proverbs 4 verse 7.
All right. This is the book of Proverbs 4, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
So when you look at the scriptures or any book that you go into, if it's proper context, if the book is actually uh something that you can get knowledge from and understanding, you need to look for wisdom out of this book. You know what I'm saying? You need to be looking for wisdom from it. Because wisdom should be your principal thing. It should be the whole matter. So what comes with wisdom? Understanding. Because if you get understanding, you can apply it and it become wisdom. So wisdom is your principal thing. This is what you need to be striving for, is that wisdom. So we could jump into this book, the Willie Lynch letter. Bear with me real quick.
Say again?
No, I'm gonna read the book.
Oh, read again? Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna read the Willie Lynch letter. Hold on.
All right.
Yep. Again, for Yasharella, if you don't know, this is the Willie Lynch letter. I hope everybody can see it. It's the Willie Lynch letter written by Willie Lynch himself.
I can't.
And it's written by Willie Lynch himself. And it's written the Willie Lynch letter and the making of a slave. So that's what it's about. How to make a slave. So we're gonna jump into page 5 in the book. It goes like, I don't know, understand a lot of numbers backwards, but anyway, who cares? Page 5, which is the introduction, and it's going to explain what is it talking about. What's the introduction of it? So I'm going to read. Introduction. The infamous Willie Lynch letter provides a great deal of insight into the brutal and inhumane psychology behind the African slave trade. The materialistic viewpoint of Southern plantation owners was slavery was a business. So it's talking about how these plantation owners, how they thought of slavery. It was a business to them. Led to slave victims being treated as merely subhuman pawns and an economic gain of debauchery, crossbreeding, interracial rape, and mental conditions. So this is what this calls to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because they ain't just talking about just the so-called African Americans. It's talking about the whole 12 tribes of Israel. We all went through this. Continue, there were considerable debates during the colonial periods in the United States in the late 1700s. The attention of the national government was mainly directed to slavery and the rising numbers of slaves traded and imported into the South. The moral questions were also argued back and forth, but there were no questions of the tremendous profit, profitability using slavery in exchange for molasses. So they sold our people for molasses, sugar, textiles, spices, and the massive free labor of the cotton production on numerous plantations in the South. So this happened to our people on every spot in the South. Yo, Akim, you hear me?
Con, yes. I'm listening.
Okay, okay. What's going on?
Mhm.
It's showing me a screen jumping back and forth. I don't know why. I'm gonna continue. The system began with a uh Salakia, conspiratorial battle of wits between the European traders and African chiefs. So battle of wits between these two factions, which we
Mhm.
know who won over that. Slave traders were required to know not only the state of the trade if they were to see a profit, but also know the likely supply of slaves available on one hand and the likely supply of ships on the other. Also, the varying values of many different standards of payment. Coins were seldom or never used on the coast. Mostly the chiefs and slave traders dealt in rolls of tobacco, barrels of rum, and firearms, and generally in length of iron of copper, of iron or copper, or in pots and basins of brass. The slavers' books are full of all of this. So letting you know that the guys who sold the so-called African Americans into slavery, they got this thing written down of all what happened. And heck, our ancestors. But if our ancestors couldn't read or write, how could they have it written down? So it lets you know that these slave traders, the ones who sold us, they written it down what they sold us for. How else would he have the understanding of what they bought these Negroes for? This is how they understand what they sold us for. And this is all through the scriptures. I mean, the scriptures ain't sugarcoating it. It tells us who bought us and details behind that. Matter of fact, give me James 1 and 1. Baba Kishab.
Con. This is the book of James 1 and 1. James, a servant of God and of the Lord Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting. Greedy.
Oh, no,
Avoid greedy.
when it just literally told you that we're gonna be scattered abroad because the Willie Lynch letter, this fool right here don't know what the heck he's talking about. He don't know that the Most High God, Yahweh, Abba Yahweh, is the one who scattered us abroad. He don't have a clue.
Con.
He just telling them the things that these slave traders wrote down, but they don't have a clue that the Most High the one who put us in there because Israel wanted to do what we wanted to do.
Mm.
This is why we had to go through that. That's why we had to go through the slave trade, the making, the making of a slave. This is literally how he got into our people's mind. We're gonna go in some more. I'm reading back in the book. Regardless of the economic prosperity enjoyed during the African slave trade and the tedious burden placed on the blacks of on Slovakia, placed on the backs of African people. Now letting you know that that's talking about Israel, placed on the backs of Israel. Slovakia, hold on, give me a second. Placed on the backs of African people, most will agree that the psychological damage and atrocities afflicted on black people during that point of time, some of the most truly outrageous examples of injustice and oppression ever experienced by humanity. The Willie Lynch letter, though painful to read, provides important documentation of the cruel mentality exercised by slave traders and owners of his day. This speech, Slakia. So it just basically explains the details behind the letter, which a lot of people don't want to read it because they are, it's too gruesome or it's uh it's inhumane. I wouldn't do that to them because I love all people. But you benefiting off of the same Willie Lynch letter of your what your forefathers did. You still benefiting off of it. You don't give two craps. You getting all the money that you can off of my people's back, our people's back. That's literally what it just said. Off of their backs, man. Because everything was put on in them. And not only do we got psychological damage and atrocities inflicted on black, on so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This was inflicted on us. Let's get an example. I don't. I didn't really do it. Hold on, bear with me out there.
Con, I got you.
Yeah. Mm, So I said, bear with me. Mm, I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I didn't. Yeah, hold on.
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it out. It's in the book of Deuteronomy. Can't remember what it was. Deuteronomy chapter 24. I think it was Deuteronomy 24. Let me
Deuteronomy
look
3 and
that.
4?
No, 24.
Oh, 24. All right.
Uh,
24 and what?
hold on.
All right.
Hold on, give me a second. I know I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Give me 18. 24,
24 and
18.
18.
Yep.
All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verse 18. But thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman and foreman. Wait, no, wait. Salakia. But thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and the Lord thy God redeemed thee thence. Therefore, I command thee to do this thing.
So remember how you was a slave in America. Remember that. A lot of people want to forget about it. This is why these books is out here for a reason, so that it can come back to your remembrance. If not, a lot of our people will have this thing burnt up because they got that cool mentality. Because they've been so damaged through the atrocities. They psychological damage. They have a psychological damage. They've been destroyed. And because of the Most High put that on them. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 28.
Deuteronomy 28
Con.
and 28.
This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of the heart.
You see? He's gonna put blindness and madness and astonishment of the heart. Making these dudes think the most outrageous thing on the planet. He'll make them think like that. Because of the 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 damage and the atrocities that happen to our people. They're still stuck in that loop of being trapped in their mind through the philosophy of the world, through the captivity of the world, even through their generations of their family. Because if you've been told something from your grandma, all the way down the line, your grandfather, all the way down the line, what
Mhm.
you gonna do? You gonna believe what they told you, not knowing that they was taught that during slavery, and you still following it. This is the thing. This is why we're destroyed as a people. So we still believe in the ideology of what our enemies told us, what our slave master told us. We still
Precept.
believe that.
My
Oh,
God.
whoa. Whoa, I didn't even know you was on here. Man, my screen over here is glitching, so I can't see nothing but just me and tap on it. I don't see nobody else. Go ahead.
Con, con. So this is what you was going into is, when you were saying this for a sign. Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna start at 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed for that lack of knowledge, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he command thee. Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
That's right. So these curses are upon us forever. It's a sign. It's supposed to sick. It's supposed to be flickering the light. Like, how would you know that you coming to McDonald's or Burger King if you didn't see that crest in the sky? Their signal. That's the same thing with you, Yasharella. None of us would know who each other is if it wasn't for these curses that was put upon us. If it wasn't for us going to captivity, slavery, on cargo slave ship, and different things like that, the affliction that was put upon us,
Hey,
we
brother, I got
wouldn't have who we is. All right, bring it up.
all right. This is the book of Lamentations, 5 verse 1. Remember,
Oh, I'm
O
about
Lord, what is come upon us, consider and behold our reproach. Number 2,
to.
our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our houses turn to aliens. 3.
That's right.
We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. 4. We have drunken our waters for money. Our wood is sold unto us. 5. Our necks
Whoa,
are under pers- persecution. We labor and have no rest.
time, time. You ain't got number six and seven, and eight, nine, 10.
Say it again?
Damn. But no. I was just playing. I was just playing.
Oh,
But beautiful precept. You're totally right. Uh, Man, what can I say, man? Everything that you think Willie Lynch or anyone your slave masters told you, you think they ain't come out of the scriptures? That was already foretold thousands of years ago. What was
con,
gonna happen to the all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? This ain't
con,
happening to no other people because we're the Israelites. The book is written about us. It's our history book, and everything's about us. Nothing else. But they don't want you to know that. That's why they're gonna tell you a bunch of lies. No, don't read Willie Lynch. Don't read the Bible. It's messed up. I just I just look at it as what's the word I'm looking for? Fiction. The Bible's fiction. That Willie Lynch letter is fiction. Don't believe these things. This ain't how they set up put our people in the situation that they're in, hating one another. Because this is exactly what this book is saying. And exactly what the Most High said. I'm about to finish reading from the book, all right?
all right.
This speech was delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his method to slave owners there. The term lynching is derived from his last name. So lynching came from Willie Lynch. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that. If you didn't know that, all praise to the Most High. Now you know.
Hmm.
This is exactly what his words are. The making of a slave. I greet you here on the banks of James River in the year of our Lord 1720. 1720. Oh no, 1712. Slovakia. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. Like, they built their society just like Rome. That's exactly what they built around it. They built it up just like Rome. So that's why he's quoting Rome. As our boat sailed south of the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish. There go you nigger Bible. I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, you are here using the tree and the rope on occasion. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple miles back. You are not only losing like you're not only losing valuable stock by hanging, you are having uprising slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the field too long for maximum profit, you suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed. So this is what our people was doing. You already know we known for being rebelling. We known for doing it. We're known for being rebellious and rebelling. We got to fight back. We just ain't gonna sit down and lay down and let them do what they want to do to us, and we just gonna accept it. No, we can't do that. No, bear with me real quick. Here's a piece of this. Get me Isaiah 1:23. Baba Kashaw.
Gone. Isaiah 23.
Isaiah 1:23. Chapter 1, verse 2.
Isaiah 1:23.
Mm-hmm.
Thy princesses are rebellious and companions of thieves. Every one loveth gifts and floweth around rewards. They judge not the fatherless.
Yeah, so I did.
Okay.
Yeah, no. What I was gonna say, the main part I was looking at was the princes are rebellious. They love to be with thieves. Who the thieves? They're talking about Esau. They love to be around the heathen. They put the heathens above everything because they love precious gifts. They love rewards, the things that they feel like they can give them. So our people are number one at being rebellious. They known for doing that. They will rebel in a heartbeat. We've been doing it too long. It's just simple. That's who our people are. They've been Kunites since the beginning of Kunite, before Kunites ever existed. They was always that. It was always a bunch of Kunites. You can drop that. Slack it. That's all I needed.
Gone.
I'm gonna finish back in the book. If anybody got a piece of speak now. Okay, Tom. I'm going back to the book. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slave. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years, aka 2012 or better. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseers can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves and make the differences bigger. I used fear, distrust, and envy for control. So these are the main factors. I hope everybody remember that. Fear, distrust, and envy. Remember that. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantation, and status of plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on a hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse coarse hair, or is tall or short. So in his list, he basically made a foolproof plan consists of age, color, which is all basically everything he has on his list is in the alphabetical order, and it's able to destroy a person off of their main subjects. What I just brought out, saying that he can use it to destroy. It don't matter tall, short, your hair type, hair texture, whatever. He can destroy you with it. That's how cold he got his stuff. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, envy stronger than uh, ad, adulation, respect, and admiration. So envy is stronger than all four of them, all five of them aspects. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark skinned slaves versus the light skinned slaves, and the light skinned slaves versus the dark skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. It is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us, that they must love and respect and trust only us. Uh, I got a couple precepts. Somebody give me Lamentations 4:17 and 18, Baba Shah.
Come. Five and four.
No, Lamentations 4:17 to 18, Baba
Oh,
Shah.
4:17. I got you. Lamentation 4:17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our own vain help in our watching. We have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Stop. They are what we have watched for a nation that could not save us, because this is the tactic that he implanted in us. Now we don't trust one another. Now we're looking to them to trust, to love, to everything. We looking to them because of the tactic that he used to put that on us. Now our people are completely messed up. Cause now we trust only them. We can't stand one another. We hate each other with a passion. Finish it out.
Gone. 18.
Yeah, 18.
They hunt our steps that we
They do
cannot go in our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come.
That's right. Because regardless of what, this thing is going to be over, man. This place is going to be destroyed. Everything that they did to us is going to be done away with. It's going
God.
to be wiped out in a single hour. And they think that they did the best thing in the world to us, and they didn't. So this is what this is explaining. Give me on Deuteronomy 20 and 54.
Deuteronomy 28:54.
God, our people trusting in the heathens and can't stand one another because of what was instilled in them through slavery, and it's still going to this day. So what he said was right. 200 to 1,000 to 100 years, whatever, it's still working. And people can say it ain't, but it is still working.
To this day.
We look towards them to this day. We look towards them for everything. When it's time to get stimulus, you at the front door. Yeah, yeah, I'm voting for him.
Mhm.
Oh man, my neighborhood white man gave me a stimulus.
God.
He gave me a couple of millions. I can do whatever I want to do. That's what our people think. But they hate their own people with a passion. Bring it out, Baba Show.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Time, which he shall leave. Because back in the day, we used to be more kind towards each other. Like, brother, how your family doing?
Let me in.
How how's your wife doing? How your children doing? Are you having a nice day?
You gotta get.
Now, brothers are effeminate, acting like women now, because they was raised by their mothers. Because after what the scripture
Okay,
said,
you see me on.
fathers left. Now they got an evil eye towards each other. Can't walk down the street without your brother looking you up and down, or looking at your shoes and hating on you because of the shoes you got on, or hating on you because of this, because of that. Want to kill you. That's because of what was instilled in them through slavery, man. This was put on them since slavery for a reason. When we disobey the Most High God, we want to do what we want to do because we wanted to be with these devils. When how the heck are you gonna want to be with these demons? And they can't stand you. They hate your gut. Somebody give me First Maccabees 1 and 11. Baba Shah. After that, I'm gonna finish it out.
I'm gonna be good.
Yep. Are we ready?
It's at the end. Maccabees what?
First Maccabees 1 and 11.
All right.
Stop at the
This is the book of Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In so much as God hath delivered us from great peerless.
no, where you at? No. First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11.
Chapter 1, verse 11.
I don't know where you at. Hold on.
Yeah, First Maccabees.
Oh, first. Oh, it's right here. There it is. Right here.
111.
There it is. So like you. This is the first Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persecuted many, saying, Let us go and make covenant with the heathen that are around us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
You see? Our people, and that's the real definition of a coon. He doing everything he can to get back to his master. Yes, master. Where's my master? I gotta get back to him. Our people, they have that instilled in them to coon out. We think because they doing it now, like it's a surprise. They've been doing it. They've been doing it since way back then. Cooning out for their masters. They've been doing it. And they ain't gonna stop. Not gonna stop. It's gonna continue. This is uh what they have to do. It's what the Most High ordained. It is what it is. Let me finish this out. Baba Shah. Uh Gentlemen, these kits are your keys. Salakia. These kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful of each other. You see that?
God.
And they told their wives and their children to do this. So guess what? There's no excuse for your kids. There ain't no excuse for you. Ain't none. No excuse for you. Guess what? You gonna do it. You gonna do it. There ain't no excuse for you. Matter of fact, give me Isaiah 14 and 17. Is that it, Baba Kishar?
14, 17.
Let me see. I think that's it, right? Hold on. I thought it
Oh,
was 17. No, no, hold on. Salakia. Oh, it's 21. 21, Salakia.
21? 14 to 21, right?
Yeah, yeah, 14, 21, Salakia.
All right. This is the book of Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possesses the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Like they did already. They got this right now. They fill the world with cities. But guess what? Our people wanted to be with them. They wanted to be like them. They want to be close with them when they need to be slaughtered.
God.
The only person, I'm not telling nobody to go out there and slaughter no Edomite or just slaughter any of the heathens. Hamashiach Yahushua is going to do that. That's what we waiting on, having patience and faith in him. If he gonna come and take care of that. I'm just speaking the fact of what the scriptures tell. This is the whole reason why we're in the condition that we're in. So we want to be like them. We want to set them up on a pedestal. And look where we at.
Mm.
Look where we at. Look what he just said in the letter. They told their wives and their children to do this to the Negro, to make them have distrust of each other.
Mm.
This is exactly the method that he used to destroy our people. And they're okay with it. They walk around kumbaya holding hands with their enemy, with their
Salakia.
dog on their hand. So,
Hey,
go ahead,
Salakia.
Dale.
Shalom. Hey, what you bringing out, Ak, is extremely heavy, and I think it'll behoove me if I don't chime in here. You said a couple things in that letter, man, and it was just powerful. But however, we see that today. We
God,
see it today. We see that we are divided in skin color. Remember that in the Willie Lynch letter you just read that
God,
they divided the lighter skin and the darker skin. There's actually memes and also social media things that brothers put team light skin and team dark skin and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because
God,
it was meant to divide us, right? And this is the type of of information that the enemy has given us, so that we have passed on to each other, and then eventually, guess what happens? It passes on to our kids, like the brother was bringing out, man. It's passed on to a generation, and next thing you know, it's it's a destroyed generation, man. That's why the Most High put the Spirit on the prophets to come back and teach you the way it's supposed to do. And this is a perfect example of why we say that Edom is the devil the Bible speaks of, right?
That's
Because
right.
only a devil would think like this. Now, y'all may say, well, everybody can be saved. No. According to the Bible, they need to be destroyed. That's what the Bible says. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get the scripture. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 137, and I'm going to start at verse 7. It reads,
Mm,
Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even until the foundation thereof. Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. You see that? Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So when we read these letters, how did they serve us, man? What did they do to us? In the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, it says that Babylon's going to get double what they did to the children of Israel. So when we read things like this, and our people say, well, what about the what about the pink man? What about this? What about him? What about your people? What about us? What we've been through? What about the atrocities that we have still not gotten any type of retribution from? The only retribution that we will ever get is the power and the spirit through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Plain facts, man. All right. But when we read and stuff like this that was supposed to divide us, I mean, come on, man. Only a devil will have these devices, right? I think it's what is First Corinthians that says, be not ignorant of the devil's devices. And this is one of them. And it carried on till today, right? We
that's
see
right.
that today. Watch this. This is the book of Ezekiel, right? The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35. And I'm gonna just start at verse I'm gonna start at verse 5. And it's this is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Y'all like to skip these verses, man. Y'all who want to save everyone, y'all forget all the atrocities, all the killings, everything that we've been through for thousands of years. Not hundreds, not 20, not 10, thousands of years. We have to come through. We've been through this. But now we're supposed to forgive and everything is saved. When the Bible, through the Spirit, put it in the spirit of David, who, by the way, is the apple of the eye of the Most High, as far as when it comes to a man.
Hello?
I think you cut out.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you cut out.
Oh, Salaki, my bad. I don't know what happened. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity has ended, man. Right? So, this is the type of thing that when we say, Edom is gonna be destroyed and there's gonna be justice for our people, it's done through the scriptures and the Bible, and we have patience. We're gonna have patience, and we're gonna pray, and we're gonna endure, and we're gonna wait for the Lord, because vengeance is His. Not in our hand. You know. Shatar, you got anything?
Um, Not really. Just like you were saying, being ignorant of Satan devices, man. Obviously, brothers were so destroyed they couldn't see that everything Esau was doing was a setup, man. It's just so you know probably flashed a little flash some coins in front of Jake's face, and he was like, bump that, I need the coins, man. Turning his back on his brothers
That's
and stuff like that, man. You
that's
know.
exactly what they did. Uh, it's crazy when you read
Oh yeah,
into this book.
they doing it now, you know.
God,
But instead of real money, they getting you paper, toilet tissue, you know.
uh, yeah, because when I read this a part which is chapter 13, says cardinal principles for making a Negro. So this chapter right here literally goes into how do we make it cool. And man, it's compact full of so much information. You're gonna be like, wow. I'm telling you, they did a number on our people, man. They did a number. They put in a lot of work to destroy us, and it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that simple. When you got a bunch of uh brothers and sisters that's been constantly getting whipped. There's even a part in here where they say they gotta watch the ones who they beat first. They gotta keep an eye on them because they know they could stir up a fire in the future generation to rebel because they was already rebelling. So like he told them to watch them, keep your eye on them, don't never let your eye go. He even had a tactic on the sleeping part. Said during the I forgot how it worked. During the day of the slave owner being up, the slaves had to sleep. But during the time of the slave owner sleeping, the slaves had to be up. Just so that they can come here and slit their throat. That's how serious they
You lagging a little bit. I don't know if you're on your headphones.
is on my headphones. Even now,
Yeah, Kadar, you're lagging a lot.
hold on. Hear me now?
Yeah, con. Kadar, your mic isn't connected. Uh,
Yo, you hear me?
there you go. There you go.
Okay, all praises. I was about to say, what the hell is going on now?
Yeah, you weren't connected for a
No,
little
what I
bit.
was saying is they had a part. Yeah, Salakia. What was the last thing y'all heard me say?
Um, you said
You said how you said how Benjamites are going to be last in the kingdom.
Man, I know I didn't see that part. Well, if this, y'all basically ain't hear nothing what I said, so I'll finish with what's that. I only got I got one more what's the name to go. I got 2 recaps.
Yeah, you in and out. You in and out. Yeah, robot.
try leaving and joining back.
You were at home? Well, I got a precept, man. Isaiah.
Yo,
Yeah, con.
so you hear me now?
Yeah, con. I
Yes,
can hear
there
you
you go.
now.
There you go.
Man, what's going on with this junk? I ain't trying to end up like Taza Doc's phone.
Well, I'm finna,
And I got two precepts. You hear me?
yeah, doing it again. I'll bring out a precept. Yeah, you can barely hear you. Told y'all got to upgrade, man. Y'all got to upgrade. Okay, this is Isaiah 1:19. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. So, because Israel wasn't obedient and wasn't willing to do what Yahweh Shah said, we wasn't able to eat of the land, man. Everywhere we went, we ate for a little bit and then ate. Here come other nations taking it over, man. You know, taking all the gold, taking all the silver, the rubies, the diamonds. They even took the letters, man. Letters that was wrote. You know, letters from our forefathers and things like that. They took everything, man. So we weren't able to eat of the good land, man. Before the heathen came over here, this was a beautiful land, man. They tear it down, cut down the trees, and defile it with blood, man. You know, this is what you reap what you sow, and we sow death until this day. You know, for not being willing and obedient. I mean, Isaiah 1:19. I'm finna go to I'm just break this little thing down. I'm gonna go to verse 20. But if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword. So I mean, Israel known for being rebellious. You know, don't want to do things. You know, don't want to take instruction. Don't want to take a reprove. You know, always want to do what thy will, what they want to do. You know, and for that, man, we would devour with the sword. For the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So the Lord spoken it, man. He said it was gonna happen, and it happened. And then go to verse 21, and this will be it right here. Uh, how is how is this faithful city become a harlot? It was full of judgment, righteousness lodged in it, but now murderers. Boy, that scripture deep right there, man. This we, for example, Israel and you know, uh, Turtle Island to the Northern Kingdom. You know, this was a faithful city, man. You know, they believed in one God. You know, the natives they kept feast days in the Shabbat. You know, but now the city has become a harlot, man. This is Babylon the Great Whore. You know, and you can see traits of Babylon, Egypt, and Sodom all wrapped up in one burrito, man. You know, it was in the scripture say it was full of judgment. It was full of what judgment? You know, the judgment in Revelations where they made Israel drink from the cup, and their judgment is they gonna drink. I'm kind of off the top of the head, but it's like two folds or three folds
of the cup, man. So we drunk of the cup, but y'all gonna drink double of the cup, man. That's your judgment for um turning our land into a harlot, you know. And righteousness lies in it. Righteousness lies in it. Like I said, the northern kingdom, southern kingdom, we was keeping the laws, you know. Some of us were still, being heathens and following their ways, making covenant with the heathens and stuff, you know. But overall, righteousness lies in Israel. Righteousness lies in the northern kingdom. But now, it, verse 20, it says, murderers, now murderers dwell here. Murderers dwell in Israel, man. Murderers dwell everywhere. Everywhere Israel is at, man, is heathens there who's killing in secret, raping the women, sex trafficking women. Got Jake hand all in the pot because we've been brought to a lower state. So Jake feel
Con,
like
con.
Jake feel like he gotta do whatever he gotta do to get money, man. That's how the city has become. It was once faithful, now it's a harlot. So that was a beautiful precept. I had to bring that one up, break that down.
Tom, y'all hear me?
Con.
Tom, because let's finish this other half. Pull out these last two pieces, and we're good. Above all, you cannot get them to work in this natural state. Hence, both the horse and the nigger must be broken. That is, breaking them from one form of mental life to another. Keep the body, take the mind. In order to, in other words, break the will to resist. Now, the breaking process is the same for both the horse and the nigger, only only slightly varying in degree. But as we said before, there is an art in long range economic planning. You must keep your eye and thoughts on the female and the offspring of the horse and the nigger. A brief discourse in offspring's development will shed light on the key to sound economic principles. Pay little attention to the generation of original breaking, but concentrate on future generations. Therefore, if you break the female mother, she will break the offspring. She will break the offspring in its early years of development, and when the offspring is old enough to work, she will deliver it up to you for her normal female protective tendencies will have been lost in the original breaking process. You see that? So turn your people into a coon. Simple as that. Give me Exodus 2:11.
I got you, brother.
Yeah, give me Exodus 2:11 back to 12.
Yeah. This is Exodus 2 and 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens, and he spied on Egyptian, smiting in Hebrew, one of his brethren.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
God. 12. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
Keep going.
Gone. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of Hebrews strove together and said to him that he did the wrong. Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? 14. And he said, who made thee prince and a judge over us? Inted- Intendest thou to kill me, and as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. Keep going.
No, stop. So basically, what these two brothers did, they did the cool thing, which is snitched or informed, told on Moses of what he did when he was just trying to save his people's life. They told him because that's the cool mindset. This is how it was already being instilled from back in Egypt, and it had to be instilled again when we came to the northern part of the world, where or western northern part of the world, where they torture us and beat us and submissiveness. Now we sell each other out, and it's the same thing with our women. This is why they're in the condition that they're in because we're constantly selling each other out because of the captivity that we went into and all the beating and stuff that we went through. The atrocity. And it's the same thing that was written in the book of Willie Lynch, letters, and it's also from the beginning always been in the scriptures, man, in the Holy Bible. Same book that your auntie has sitting on her nightstand collecting dust. Give me one last precept. Let me get Sirach 5 and 7. Sirach 5 and 7. Bible show.
Gone. Gone. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 7. Make no tearing to turn into the Lord, and put not off the day from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance.
So don't be slacking. Uh, uh, don't be carrying around. Don't be out there procrastinating. Make no haste. I mean, make no tarry. Make haste and come back to the Most High God, man. Stop trying to wait all day to day. Oh, it's all right. I got 30 more years, 30 more days, 30 more years. Uh, when I'm gonna come to the Lord, you don't even know what's gonna happen within them 30 days or 30 years. Most I could come at any moment, in a second, in an hour and a half of a minute, a second, and you're done. So you better stop procrastinating and come back to the Most High God. It's the only way you're gonna get out of this situation that we're in. Keeping the law, statutes, commandments, that's what's gonna bring our people back from the depths that they at, from being under the curses, and stuck in this crap with the Willie Lynch letter. You won't have that slave mentality no more. You're gonna have the mind of a princess and a king. That's exactly the mind that you should be striving to get. So stop procrastinating and make haste and come to the Most High God. Come back to your true identity. Keeping these laws, that's commandments. You so-called black Spanish American. And I yield. Anybody got precept? Precept, precept.
I'm good, brother.
Michael, are you good? Cap, you good?
Con.
What about you, Michael? I'm
Nah,
assuming he's good. Okay, Con. But he's
you
good.
fast.
And we're going to call us and we're going to say Shalom, Yasharala.
Shalom, Yasharella.
Shalom.
Shalom.